Young and the Restless exposes that Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, absolutely furious with Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, for kidnapping Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and Nikki vows she'll end this. But how far will she go? Young and the Restless. Nikki rages recently. Nikki found out from Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, that Victor kidnaps Jack to use him as a bargaining chip to get Chancellor back from Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson. But we know Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, still owns Chancellor, so she went to cut a deal with Victor. Although no one gives Phyllis any credit, she absolutely said she'd hand over Chancellor to get Jack back. Why would Phyllis care? She was gonna give it to Billy anyway. But Phyllis explained to the Abbotts that Victor now wants everything back in exchange for Jack. And of course, Phyllis doesn't want to do that and doesn't think Victor will hurt Jack because she knows Nikki would roast her husband. But now, Diane's furious and said if anything happens to Jack, it's on Phyllis because she's refusing to give it all back. But Nikki stormed out before all those details came out. She blew into the ranch bellowing for Victor to come out, but he's nowhere to be found. And Nikki assumes Victor's staying away and avoiding the ranch because he knows Nikki's going to be furious with him. She also worries that Victor has more planned than just kidnapping Jack, and she's right because Victor has involved crazy Patty Williams, Stacey Hayduk. Bottom line is Victor can't hide from Nikki forever, and eventually, they'll be face to face in an explosive confrontation. And we want to talk about what fallout Victor's going to face from Nikki, and also how Victor will react to Nikki's anger. Because we know Victor's not going to take it well, he's going to blow up and clap back at her. So let's talk about what's ahead. Nikki's at her limit first. We know this is going to be an explosive confrontation because Nikki is sick and tired of Victor doing whatever he wants and always leaving her in the dark and lying to her. He outright lies right in Nikki's face all the time, and also Victor lies by omission. Nikki's on the warpath right now and said it's time for Victor to deal with her when Nikki called and left Victor an irate voicemail. But it definitely seems like he's dodging Nikki, maybe hoping her temper will blow up and over. But Victor's going to have to face Nikki soon and explain himself. And I absolutely think he's going to try to lie and deny, and when that doesn't work, we'll see Victor justifying his actions and clapping back at Nikki. Victor will fly into a jealous rage over Nikki's concern for Jack on Young and the Restless. That leads us to a second thing. I expect Victor to fly into a jealous rage because of Nikki's concern for Jack. We all know that Victor hates the connection between Jack and Nikki, even though it's totally platonic. Victor's always complaining about Nikki giving a damn about Jack. And recently Victor threw a fit when he caught Nikki in Jack's arms. But they were hugging and it was totally innocent. Of course, it was strictly platonic, but Victor did not see it that way, and he raged at Jack to get his hands off his wife. So I absolutely expect Victor to be fuming because Nikki's worried about Jack and wants him back home safely. And when Nikki demands that Victor let Jack go immediately without trying to get something in exchange for him, he'll lose it. And Nikki will likely turn around and rage back at Victor for taking Jack from his family. She won't let Victor sidestep and make excuses. And if Nikki pushes him enough, Victor may let loose and tell her the ugly truth once and for all. And that might reveal some big info. Because Victor may let it slip that crazy Patty is keeping Jack company. Because Nikki knows that Victor used unhinged Patty before as a tool against Jack. That might push Nikki to her breaking point on Young and the Restless. She knows just how dangerous Patty is because she's a violent nutcase. Back in the day, she shot Jack 3 times, I believe in the chest, and she also shot Victor and nearly killed him. If not for getting a heart transplant from an Abbott, he'd be dead thanks his scheming with Patty. So Nikki is going to be absolutely horrified to find out Victor has Patty looking after Jack on the yacht and is using her against Jack yet again. Meanwhile, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinel, defended Victor's actions talking to Nikki this week. As far as Victoria's concerned, the Newmans have to go to extremes to get their legacy back. But she also doesn't want to see Jack harmed. She knows that would devastate Billy. But Victoria doesn't think Victor would actually hurt Jack or risk his marriage to Nikki. But let's be real, Victoria's 100% wrong. Victor wouldn't care at all if Jack wound up hurt. That's why he handed him to Patty, a woman who tried to kill him before. Victor does not care.